Hello everyone, I'm Engineer Martin Nyonzima from RP, IPRC Kigali, and today we have a new topic which is engine overhauling. The engine overhauling will consist of disassembly of the whole components of this one, cleaning and check if there are some damaged components, and if necessary, remove and replace those damaged components. And after, we will reassemble those removed components. So before starting this operation, you see around me Engineer Gerard Gasasira, who will be with me during this operation. And I find that it is very important to give you some overview about the engine. Let us think about engine. We can ask ourselves, what is an engine? As you see here, an engine is considered as a heart of a vehicle. So the engine transforms the chemical energy from the fuel and air mixture into mechanical energy to propel the whole vehicle and serve for other accessories. We can also see how we can categorize the engines. When we look at on the number of cylinders, we can say that we have an engine of maybe 4, 6, 8 cylinders, and sometimes we can find engine of 8 cylinders, 10 or 12 cylinders. We can also categorize the engine by looking at the position of the camshaft. In the engine, internal combustion engine, we can find those who have the camshaft in the head of the cylinder head, and sometimes the camshaft in the cylinder block. We can also categorize the internal combustion engine by looking at the position of the valves, and in this category, we may find the engine with the valve in the head or engine with the valve in the block of the engine. We can also look at on the cooling system. The cooling system of engine may be either air cooling system or water cooling system. We can also have the stroke. The engine should be 4 strokes or 2 strokes. We can also have the fuel burned during the combustion. We will find the engine that use the gasoline and engine which can use the diesel. So when we try to talk about the parts of an engine, we have normally 3 main parts of an engine. When we look at here, we have a cylinder head from up here to this part. We have also the cylinder block. It is a part which is linked with the cylinder head. It is from here up to here, and down here we have the oil pan. These are the 3 main parts of an engine. In this, we can also find more components which are enclosed by these 3 components. And when we talk about the cylinder block, we will find the moving part that I can show them from this teaching manual. When we look at here, we find what we call camshaft. This teaching material possesses the camshaft in the head of the cylinder. And here we find the pistons. These are pistons of this engine. We have the connecting rod. We have the crankshaft over there. And this should move up and down during working of the engine. I can show you how this will move. When I turn this crankshaft, we will see the movement of these pistons. The piston should move up and down following the stroke that engine is doing. Okay, now we have different tools and equipment that can be used when we are performing the engine overhauling. As I told you before, the engine overhauling consists of disassembly of the all components of this engine. So this will require some equipment and tools, as you see here. And here we have different kind of spanners. These are double cross spanners. Here we have open spanner. We will need also a puller for different puller. We have oil filter key. We will also need to lubricate the internal moving parts during the assembly period. We have also different pliers here. We have a small toolbox that contains the socket wrench and the sets. We have also the piston ring compressor that will be used during the installation of the piston ring in the cylinder block. We have also the piston ring expander that will be used during installation of the piston ring on the piston. Now we can start our work by removing the accessories, starting by this harness, electrical harness, by removing the socket and just stay with this cylinder head and the accessories like this intake manifold and exhaust manifold, and therefore we will reach the vis that is just link the cylinder head to the cylinder block. Let us try to disconnect the electric harness so that we can reach the cylinder head. We need also to remove these coils. The intake manifold is already removed. We are going to remove also this exhaust manifold from the cylinder head. Exhaust tail pipe is already removed. We are starting disassembling the camshaft. Remember, the removal of this camshaft should respect the standard sequence. There is a recommended sequence to disassemble the camshaft from the cylinder head. Okay, before removing this camshaft, we have to, because this camshaft contains the belt which is linked it with the crankshaft, we may first remove this camshaft pulley. We have to remove the camshaft pulley and this front cover. Let us unscrew this nut, the removal of this pulley. First, you have to remove this nut. You have to remove the nut. We need the puller to remove this pulley from the crankshaft. Can you remove it, please? You can maintain over there. Maintain there. You can put it in the center of the pulley. Okay. Yes, put it there. So we have already removing this pulley. We have here the belt, distribution belt. Now we are able to remove it from the camshaft sprocket and the crankshaft sprocket. So we will be able to remove to pull out the camshaft of this engine. Yes, we have to deal with the tensioner belt to release this belt. Okay. Now we can remove this camshaft from the cylinder head. By removing the crankshaft bearing, we have to respect the order so that we can't mix them. We can put them on the table respecting the order. This is intake camshaft, this is exhaust camshaft. And when we look at on this bearing, we will find the mark that indicates it is exhaust camshaft. We have to make sure that the removed bearing, camshaft bearing are well organized. Okay, now we can remove the camshaft from the cylinder head. Okay, put it there. Now we are reaching our cylinder head. And when we look at here, we have the vise which is connect together the cylinder head and cylinder block. This vise will be requiring the Allen key to remove it from the cylinder block. And removing this cylinder head should also respect the recommended sequence in order to maintain its proper way of working. So if we don't respect this sequence, we can sometimes bend it, and during the working of the engine, we will have the leakage of the compression. So we are going to remove the cylinder head by respecting the removal sequence. We have to start by the distribution side. We have to start by this one. And there is two methods of removing the cylinder head. Either we can use the diagonal or circular method. Now, let us use the diagonal. We will start by here, 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 there, until we finish removing this vise of the cylinder head.